Hello students, in the previous video we discussed about two of the air passages, that is the nasal cavity and pharynx, and today we are going to discuss rest of the three air passages. So come to the uh, third one, that is the larynx. Can you see this diagram? In this diagram, you will see the various parts which are involved in respiratory system. So the last video we discussed regarding the nasal passage and about the pharynx. And now we will discuss today about the larynx first of all. Now children, larynx or the voice box, and at the same time it is also called as Adam's apple, is actually a hollow cartilaginous structure located at the start of the windpipe, that is trachea, and it has vocal cords which produce sound. So when air passes through the vocal cords, it starts vibrating and then the sound is produced. You can see location of larynx. I'll bring it closer to you. This is the position of larynx. Okay, it is just at the start of the windpipe, that is trachea. Now children, next air passage which is very much important is the trachea. Trachea is also called as the windpipe. Now trachea or windpipe emerges from the larynx. You can see after larynx the trachea starts. So trachea or the windpipe emerges from larynx, and it is short tubular structure with C-shaped cartilaginous rings. Can you see here cartilaginous rings, and these are C-shaped. Cartilaginous rings means rings like structure which are made up of cartilage. Now this cartilaginous ring has very important role to play, and its importance is that it provides support to the trachea and keep it permanently distended. Distended means in expanded form, and also prevent it from collapsing when air pressure falls. So when air pressure is less, if there would be no cartilaginous rings, then the windpipe will get collapsed, as it happens for some time in case of food pipe. And children, this trachea is almost 4 to 5 inch in the length and about 1 inch in diameter. So this was all regarding trachea and importance of cartilaginous rings. Now come to the next air passage, and next air passage is the bronchi. Bronchi is close to the lungs, and the trachea divides into two tubes. Close to the lungs, when as soon as trachea reaches to the lungs, it gets divided into two tubes which are actually called as bronchi, and in singular we call it as bronchus, which enter the respective lungs. And inside lungs, each bronchus divides into fine branches called as bronchioles. So children, in this diagram you can see it. This trachea, as soon as it reaches to the lungs, it has been divided into two bronchi, isn't it? And each bronchus enters into its respective lungs. Next is that alveoli, which is a very important structure present inside the lungs. So what happens? Bronchioles ultimately ends in a cluster of tiny air sacs called as alveoli, Air sacs means air bags, we can say. And this alveoli in singular is called as alveolus. Plural is alveoli, singular is alveolus. Each alveolus is richly supplied with the blood capillaries. The walls of alveoli are extremely thin, that is one cell thick, and moist, and thus allows the gaseous diffusion through them. Thus, alveoli are the site of exchange of respiratory gases, and there are approximately 700 million alveoli which provide large surface area for gaseous exchange. So, alveoli is the actual site for gaseous exchanges. This is a very important fact, and sometimes it comes in exam also. So children, uh, structure of alveoli is very simple, and its wall is very thin, which allows the diffusion of gases. And you can see here at the end of the bronchioles small bag like structures you can see, which are called as alveolar sac. And in this diagram, just at the base of the lungs, you will find a muscular sheet which is called as diaphragm. So this is all about the air passages, and in the next class we will read about lungs. So till now we have read about air passages, the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles, and also we have learnt about alveolar sac. Now, till next video, have a good revision of these notes and take good care of yourself. Goodbye.